Hello. Can you see my new shirt? It's from Mark Dice. Okay, so I actually have a lot of different things. Hence the title, Topic Roulette, because look at all this shit I have written on just random envelopes and stuff. Because why would I keep a normal notepad? It's too easy. I'll save you for last. So, I do want to talk briefly about how Facebook is down, and for a while, I wasn't able to get onto my Instagram account, and I thought it was just me, because usually Instagram just randomly crashes for me. So, I just sent a bunch of those, feedback whatevers, just be like, hey, it's been 5 days. Apparently, they were down, and, fuck. So, I don't really care. I generally don't really use Instagram that much anymore, other than to talk to my friends. But I also kind of use it like a archive. I like to have just old pictures on there, especially because my phone is 5 years old and it's running out of space very fast. So I'll use that like an old archive. But with Facebook being down, I think it's really funny because if it happened 10 years ago, people would be flipping the fuck out. Now that it's happening just recently, people are like, oh, it's down? Okay, I'll do something else. People just don't give a shit about Facebook anymore, and I think it's fucking hilarious. Now, of course, Facebook has been made to be used in its practical applications, kind of for work or for school, which I think is kind of retarded. But in that case, it's kind of shitty. Other than that, no one really cares. Fuck Facebook. Fuck it. Fuck it all to hell. So, that's pretty much thoughts on that. Now, what else? Okay, so I do want to talk about general secession, and especially because Tim Pool's been talking about it every other fucking video, and I don't even know why I watch his ass anymore. I think I just like the discussion on his podcast because I do not watch his main channel content anymore. I used to be every fucking day, every video. Now I'm I don't give a singular shit. But I think what really drove me away from, just side note, I think what really drove me away from Tim Pool's content, especially his daily uploads, is that they stopped being the 3 10-minute segments at 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, and then they're just fucking 25-minute plus videos. It's bruh, half of your fucking 2/3 of the fucking video is just him talking about stuff that's tangentially related. Okay, bruh. Okay, we know. Okay, last thing I'm going to talk about with Tim Pool. I was just watching a video with the Quartering talking about him and Tim, just Jack Murphy. Jack Murphy is still going to be right on this. I'm sorry. Tim had some sort of shit saying about you should take your kids out of baseball because principles. I'm okay, but if your kid has spent literally their entire life doing this, be a little more caring, I'd say. This whole thing that irritates me about it is that it was just very black and white. Tim was just very yes or no. You are against your principles or you are for them to the end. And it's just, I like Jeremy's take from the Quartering. It's just yeah, life is not that cut and dry, dude. Life is not that black and white. If you have kids, you have to make fucking compromises. Like what Jeremy said, lesser of two evils. And if I have to hear Tim say, just go buy a farm one more fucking time, bruh, I grew up on a farm. I know how fucking hard it is. Tim, I know you're a fucking city kid. I know it. I can see it on you. You would probably fucking flip out if you had to work on a farm. I'm sorry, but you just would. You would get mad because you would see something that's potentially an easier way of doing something, but then the person that's been there forever is no, that's not a good idea. And then you get mad because, well, my idea is a good idea. And then you do it, and then you realize, oh, they said that for a reason. Trust me, I fucking know. Whenever, for instance, I had a boss when I worked at a plant nursery. I had a boss that was no, when you're taking shit off the truck, don't just pass it off to the next person. You run it back to the whatever. And it's it seems like it's a lot more easy to just twist and hand it off to someone, but apparently it's faster to run it back. Whatever, I wasn't there for that long, but my point still stands. I actually grew up on a farm, bruh. That, and I'm sure Bill Gates is willing to sell. I'm sure of it. And BlackRock and just all those people buying up land like China, they're totally going to sell a couple acres to you. I promise you. Fuck yeah. That's actually how I advertise my channel. I just comment a lot in other based people's comment section, especially because people see my icon, see my username, and they're like, what? A female? A goth who agrees? What? So, yeah. Usually they'll click on my... I'll have this happen a lot. If you look through, especially some of my older videos where I'm a little bit more chill and not talking politics, you'll see in the comment section being like, I came to argue about abortion, but now I'm here watching a poetry video. It's like, I'm glad you found me. What are they talking about? Farms. Fucking, I would honestly, honest to God, love to see Tim Pool actually bust ass on a farm. Because I feel like he can actually do it, but he had to put his fucking ego away, put his nose through the grindstone, and actually had to do it. Because I don't think for a second that Tim would lie about how he can actually work hard, because I feel like he can. I mean, obviously he built his empire doing something right, but at the same time, I don't know him personally. I've just been watching him for a really fucking long time. But you ever find it weird that everyone he talks to, he pays? But every one of his friends are on his payroll. But so about with Tim, like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about how his whole brand is just skateboarder, punk rock, fuck yeah. And then I would love to see if he would just go to a local, I imagine this sometimes, if he goes to the local bar that I go to in my small town, and, well, technically it's just the next small town over, because my town is so small, there is very few places to go to hang out. But like I was saying, I would love to see him hang out with all the shrimpers and construction workers and other, like, rough and tough kind of dudes, and just be like, hello, fellow rough and tough man, I am also badass. Like, okay, Tim, I know you're not super skinny, but you are not on the same level. I know you got some chonk to you, but you are not on the same level as, like, the shrimper dudes that I know. The guys that work on a shrimp boat. They go get oysters in the cold months, and they do shrimp in the summer. You're not like that. You are not like that at all. You see how these people have, like, leathery skin from all the fucking sun damage because they're out all the goddamn time. You wouldn't do that shit. You would say, no, I'm too good for this. And these people will still say that the Holodomor totally wasn't a fucking genocide. No, it just happened. Just a result of the Soviet Union. Yeah, but y'all dick ride the Soviet Union all the time. Whatever. You see, like, I don't watch Fox much at all. And I'll watch a little bit for Tucker, watch a little bit for Gutfield. But other than that, it's still corporate media. And while they might be on our side, there's only so far it can go. You know what I mean? That's why I love Gothics. I love fucking Ruin Leon. I love Young Ripa and what's his ass? I actually just recently completely, well, it's a little adjacent, completely found, I'm just out of the blue, I found Black Pigeon Speaks back on YouTube. And I remember back when he was, I think, banned off of YouTube, and I can't believe he's back. So that's pretty cool. I kind of wish Dave Cullen was back on YouTube. I don't know if he still is. I don't know if he is or not. So. Yeah, because I don't know. They are the ones that are getting up and putting on the suits and getting in front of the camera and getting their makeup done. And there's only so much that they could speak for us, you know? They are not the ones that are going out and working in the goddamn coal mines. They're not the ones that are dragging for fish or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, when you see the people on here, you see people just riding their bikes down the highway, people walking down the side of the road. You know, people aren't fucking you see a massive disconnect between the wealthy and the poor, because literally on the street near my house, one side is waterfront property with million dollar mansions. The other side, dilapidated fucking trailers in the woods. That's where I live. So it's just, it's sad that we are in a time where there's such a fucking massive class divide, because I feel like, you know, even back in my short time, even in my childhood, I feel like it wasn't that bad. And I remember fucking 2008. I remember the fucking, I remember Wall Street. I remember all the stock markets crashing. I remember that shit. I remember waking up and seeing my parents having the news on, and the S&P 500 has dropped 5. Yes, I remember that, you know? So just the fact that we kind of live in this massive divide, it really makes me feel like we are heading for a death and rebirth of America, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of fucked up that, like, there are so many names. A certain Eric fellow, a certain Julian guy. Who else? Let's see. God, there was someone else. It's tipped my tongue. I know you're gonna. There's an Eddie dude. If I said their full names, this stream would probably be gone. Just think about that. If I said, especially said this, I'm sorry, Eric, Caramel, I'm sorry. So, just think, if I said their full names, my stream would probably be gone, and then my channel would probably be gone. That's kind of fucking scary to think about. And especially when you think about, like, China, and how not only China is buying up farmland, and then China is just literally Chinese immigrants coming here. Like fucking Mexicans. I'm sorry to say it, but I know it sounds funny, but it's like, with people crossing the border, it's more than just people from South America too. You know it. You honestly have, there's no way. They're not coming through the Canadian-American border. Fuck that, no. Oh, man. Let me talk a little bit about secession, because that's the one thing I have written the most down right here. So, I was trying to think about pros and cons about certain states seceding from the Union, and I'm just really thinking about the Civil War, because, you know, I live in a place where the Civil War was really fucking important, kind of central to the Civil War. Why does that make me think of One Piece and the trains that go across the ocean? I'm weird. But also, your username desperately makes me want to do the thing. I might do the thing. Don't tempt me to do the thing. I'm gonna do the thing. Okay, you can all cringe and vomit now. So, pros and cons of secession. I really couldn't think of a fucking pro. And you know why? Because historical precedent. Because when it was against the North and the South, they had such a good fucking deal. The South had all the raw materials. The North had all the manufacturing plants. They could have worked together. They could have had such a well-oiled machine. And then, let me comment. I'll get into that. So, especially with the Civil War, they had such a good setup. The South could have just shipped all the raw materials up north, and the North could have just shipped it all back. And I know there were problems with that in itself, but it could have been smoothed out. And then let's talk about the whole states' rights shit, because people want to talk about, it's all about states' rights for slavery. It's a little bit more disconnected than that. Let's talk about that. For one, it's not just like states' rights that are already there. They're making new states. States like Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, they're going out west. And they try to even up the numbers between slave and non-slave states. And since the states have a choice in what they want to be, you know, they didn't really get quite that balance that they were looking for. So that's all that states' rights really was. In that context, however, Where's my fucking I'm not gonna grab my constitution because I don't want to move my ass right now. But states' rights is still a big fucking part of America in like American law. So when it comes to just the whole breaking up of the states, I hate the idea of it, primarily because I like free movement. I like being able to go around. I kind of like the fact that, like, you know, I have family in other parts of the country, and I think it's cool that they can, like, come and go and travel, and it's all fine, and they don't need a fucking passport, or at least they didn't back before the thing. But, so, I really also don't think that secession will even ease tensions at all. I think it's a Band-Aid, you know? I think it's a Band-Aid on a festering wound. It's barely appeasement, if seriously. And especially when you consider how it would be divided up. Like, what was that comment? Dixie, Midwest, England, West Coast. Even then, like, let me, like, if I'm assuming Dixie is like Southeast, Midwest is that big chunk in the middle, and whatever. But where is all the manufacturing? Where is all the farms, and where's all the food being grown? Actually, this is related. This is related, but it's not related. The Golden Girls. I remember Rose Nyland. She was from St. Olaf, I think, one of those Yankee states. Not Wisconsin. Minnesota. And I remember one time she got mad as shit at the other girls because she's like, yeah, my place, you think we're a bunch of country bumpkins, but your food comes from where I'm from. It's like, yes, bitch, yes. Thank you. You know, you gotta respect. Like, who was that one asshole? There was one motherfucker that posted on Twitter a while back ago. They're in their airplane, posting a picture of all the ground down below. It's like, oh, what is this? This is so weird. Why are it all in little blocks? Bro, that's farmland. I've driven through farmland. I have family that live up in fucking rural-ass Tennessee. Sorry, I do. But let's see. Let's comments. Man, I do love a good road trip. But most of the time, especially for this one, like, good long stretch of my life, like about 10-year stretch, the only road trips I really went on were to visit funerals. But whatever. I still had good road trips, too. Y'all remember back when LeBron had that mustache? Was it LeBron? Or was it Michael Jordan? I think it was Michael Jordan. I don't know my football players. Don't say they all look alike. Don't say they all look alike. But like I was saying about with secession and its historical precedent, okay, y'all know I talk about this a fucking ton. Let's talk about Reconstruction. The fucking Reconstruction era, dude. The Reconstruction era is literally why the South has the poor trope. That's why you have the trope of, like, the poor Southern farmer from the 50s. Because, I'm sorry, let me read this right, yeah. I see your point. But I'd rather have the whole country. I feel like we can, that's just out of necessity. All this is out of necessity, in my opinion. Let's not go there unless we absolutely have to. Just my opinion. But fucking Reconstruction. Okay, so I'm not even going to get into, like, carpetbaggers and shit, because that's a whole other goddamn story. But so after the meeting at Appomattox Courthouse, and Robert E. Lee was like, yo, people are dying way too much on both sides. It's fucking ridiculous. Let's just end this shit. Okay, we'll say it. We'll say we lost. We'll say we lost. We surrendered. So the bitterness after the Civil War did not go away. Just kind of like what we have now. Eerily similar. So aside from, like, the whole Jefferson Davis and the Confederacy and yada yada, after that, Northerners came down as carpetbaggers to just pretty much be like, hey, we got money. You don't. You need help. Why don't we help you out a little bit? for a price. And then let's talk about how the North, not only was it the war of Northern aggression, but the North just didn't feel like letting up after the South had lost, because they felt like they just extra deserved it, because not only because slavery and yada yada, but also those goddamn Southerners making more money than us. That's a partial joke. Oh, where do I go with that one? Do I talk about the fact that South Carolina, especially Charleston, was like a world power in trade before it was even a country? Before America was even a country, back when we were just colonies? Let's not talk about that right now. Yes. Too bad his fucking statues were torn down for goddamn Breonna Taylor. Whatever. So, let's see. Okay, I flipped it over, so I got it backwards. With the Reconstruction era came so much fucking poverty, because not only was the South utterly devastated, most of the battles that were fought in the Civil War were fought in the South. Atlanta was the only city that was spared in Sherman's March to the Sea because they surrendered. Charleston tried, and then Sherman was like, "No, fuck you. We already spared one city. You're getting burned." But like, y'all don't even. I remember back when I was in, I think, the 8th grade, 7th grade, there was a study we had to do, because people back in like the 40s and 50s, up until we joined World War II and got a whole bunch of money from that, manufacturing started popping off and shit, because we were, funding a lot of the shit from the war. But a lot of people were dying of scurvy and other diseases that come from not getting your nutrients, because guess what they had to primarily eat? Fucking corn. It was cornbread, and it was grits, and it was all the other corn-based shit, because that's pretty much all they had to fucking eat. Because not only was the ground so goddamn fucked up, but they were just so poor for generations after Reconstruction. I can talk on for literally fucking ever about this. So let me just read some comments. I'm sorry, what does Evanescence have to do with Arkansas? Is the band from Arkansas? I would shit if the band is from Arkansas. With a band like Evanescence, you'd imagine they're from, like, I don't know, somewhere up in New England, not Arkansas. Has anyone ever read the House of Night series? It's... I read it when I was in middle school because I had a friend who was really into it, and it's like a YA vampire series that takes place in Oklahoma. And long story short, there's this vampire school, and you essentially get chosen to become a vampire just by like some celestial being. And so they send you to the school, and it's so badly written. It's so bad. Even when I was in middle school, I was like, this is shit. And there's like just inexplicable sex scenes and just like random spelling error. It's so bad. Look up reviews of the House of Night series on YouTube. It's horrendously bad. I only got like 4 books in. There's like 20 of them. I cannot. And it's written by like a mother-daughter duo. And if this shit was written today, it would get canceled so fucking fast. My favorite fucking line I've ever heard came from this book series. You know what it is? The mean girl Aphrodite looks at the main character Zoe, and she says, "God, you're fatter than a fat kid on crutches." I know I'm doing retarded steel claps, but that shit is still funny 10 years later. I don't know. I think it's a North Carolina thing, but I guess it's also South Carolina. I've had it. I don't know. It's a Southeast thing, I guess. Oh, that's good. Okay, how come looking at your icon kind of explains the whole Evanescence shit? Sorry. From a former emo kid, I can make fun of you. I'm not making fun of you. I'm sorry. Don't leave me. That fucking fan fiction, though. Let's get back on hand. Oh my god. Okay, actually, I do have something written down about music, though, that I do want to get into. What is this? Nothing like stolen DeviantArt shit. Oh, yeah. That's some good times. I had a DeviantArt account. Please don't go find it. Primarily, it was just a bunch of, like, Bee and Puppy Cat stuff, because I still love Bee and Puppy Cat. I'm sorry, I really do. It's a good magical girl show. See ya. Damn, I wanted to talk about My Immortal. Okay, but now, one thing I do want to say about what I wanted to say about music. Actually, no, let me get into neurodivergency first. That's a short thing I wanted to get into. I like it. My profile picture is me. But when I look decent. So, I wanted to talk about generally neurodivergency because you hear it all the goddamn time now. And schooling, especially, because no one likes factory schooling. No one likes factory schooling, and it's not meant for our generation anymore. Factory schooling was meant for back when people were going to go work in factories in like the 40s and 50s and shit, because that was the primary thing you did back then. Because we have so many more options now, especially because of the internet. Like, the fact that I can just say, hey, here's a link you can send me money to, and the fact that some of you actually fucking would blows my mind. But when it comes to schooling, like, I'm grateful that in my area, there's a lot of, not alternative schools, but schools that do alternative forms of teaching. Like, for instance, there's a bunch of charter schools, there's Montessori schools. I don't know if there's any kind of co-ops for, like, homeschooled kids. There should be, if there isn't. All the schools I went to around here were especially not only education focused, but, like, well-being of the child focused. Except for my middle school. My middle school sucked. But my middle school is literally fucking hell on earth. I hate every single one of them there. But, like, my high school, for instance, it was very, if you need a break, go hang out in this room. There's teachers there that can help you out with this topic. If you need yada, 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 yes. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm sorry. But like I was saying with neurodivergence, that. Oh shit, really? Fuck yeah. I mean, I'd rather not anyone do super chats in general because YouTube takes like 30%. But if you want to give me money, I'll have something set up before then. Don't worry. So I really wish that, I do see this as a growing trend, but it's still slower than I want. And it doesn't, like, I'm afraid of this growing because of all the social justice bullshit happening in schools, but I really do want a more fluid way of kids learning. Like, for instance, I want to homeschool my future kids, and I want to be able to just take them out into the fucking woods and being like, hey, this is this kind of mushroom, you don't touch that. This is this kind of mushroom, you can eat that. This is this kind of tree, this kind of whatever. And I'm not saying you don't have a point, but like what I was saying, everyone suffers in a factory school setting, because especially like in my middle school, it was, you keep your head down, you don't fucking say that you're having a problem because you are the problem if that's the case, which fucking sucked. If you had any kind of like home problems, any kind of anxiety, depression, any kind of bullying, especially bullying, my middle school didn't give a singular fuck about you. They just wanted to make sure that your grades were good. That was it. And they would yell at you. I remember one time I went to go report my bully, and I left my class, like the last 30 minutes of my class, to go tell the guidance counselor about this bully. And I probably told the story before. I had to wait for these girls to stop hanging out with a goddamn counselor because he was such a pretty boy, and go sit with him and be like, hey, this girl is like, you know, torturing me. And I'm crying my fucking eyes out. The man says, what do you want me to do about it? I had to stop myself from being like, murder her. I said, if I had my way, she wouldn't go to school here anymore. And it's like, well, I can't do that. It's like, really, motherfucker, you can't do that? But when I left the guidance counselor's office, I was running up to the door. The teacher slammed the door in my face. I was knocking on the goddamn door, and the kids that sat in my row could see me through the window in the door. And the teacher opened the door and was like, you're late, and was yelling at me because I was just hanging out with the pretty boy counselor, and the fucking bully was in that class. So that happened. Yeah. If I ever wanted to shoot up a school, it would have been that one. Just saying. Now let me see. Yes. Which I hate one just saying there should be laws against this, because just packing on more laws on top of laws is like, it's not always a good idea. We should have, ever since like the Great Reset has been a thing, but I really think there should be a reset in certain laws, like every 40 years or something, we go and reevaluate all these laws. Is this necessary? Is this necessary? Is this still relevant? Yada yada. Back onto this though. Isn't it a fact that China is like doing a lot of pressuring on Silicon Valley? That's just what I've heard. Precisely. Like, ever since I started school, I always said, I like learning, I don't like school. And that's just, I've always felt that way. Always felt that way about school. Ever since I was a little ass kid, I felt that way. And it's just like, because I like, you know, I've always liked learning things. I've always been interested in like how things work, how things tick, why things happen. I had this one teacher who, amazing teacher, by the way. He actually has a YouTube channel. He teaches how to play ukulele. But this teacher, in the beginning of our class, he made us take a quiz. And it was like, what's your best learning style? And my learning style was the magnifying glass, as in you need to have the full details and everything to be able to understand something. You know, you need to understand the small details to understand the greater picture at large. And so he was the kind of teacher where, you know, if I said, I'm a magnifying glass, can you explain that greater? He would be, okay, well, yada, yada, yada. You know, that kind of teacher that not only is so eager to teach your kids and is so, I call him science dad or space dad, because he also taught astronomy, space science and shit. He taught chemistry and astronomy, and I fucking love him dearly. Because a lot of kids in my class didn't like that he would have this almost cartoony and almost, I hate to say, like treating us like children, but he tried to make it fun, and I just appreciated that. And I saw no malice in it, so I respect the fuck out of him. And he was, yeah. But I totally agree with this right here. This just making me think back to my early schooling and how some things were really fucked up. Like, I remember I went to this all-black school because I was zoned there, because zoning laws are fucking retarded. Just let your kid go to any fucking school. If your parents can take you there, then fucking go. Whatever. But I hate zoning laws. But I had to go to the school. I was one of two black kids. I was one of two white kids in my class. Everyone else was black. And this poor kid, I remember his name was Adam. Every single fucking day, the teacher sent him to the office. Every day. I remember this kid was crying one time. He didn't do shit. This kid literally was just sitting there. sitting there, and the teacher hit that button on the wall, and he's just like bawling his fucking eyes out, and it's just like, what is this shit? Y'all picking on him because he's the only fucking white boy in this fucking class. That is precisely it. Anyway, I'm gonna just jump to the next comment. Lovely. But instead, he's painting puppy pictures. Isn't he cute? That dude who threw the shoes at him, like, it was a funny dodge, but I wish one of them at least stuck. I always think of the George Bush dodging shoes thing. I watch it every once in a while. And yes, he should be in jail. Moving on. That's why they hate when people, like, I remember back when I was a kid especially, they would just hand out pamphlets and be like, oh, go to the CPA, go to the parent-teacher meeting or whatever the fuck. And they pretty much made sure that parents never showed up. They made it difficult. They made it at weird times of the week. They made it so that it was like most parents were working around the time. It was usually like 7 o'clock at night. It's like, why the fuck would these parents just go up and, like, no, you know? They purposely made it hard for these parents to, you know, get in and learn what these kids, what their kids are being taught. And so when you see that, like, especially these videos nowadays of these massive school board meetings where just parents out the fucking gate and they're having to shut them down because they're all chanting, and like the teachers are calling the cops on the parents because the parents are not having any of their bullshit. They know that we know too, and they're cracking, and it makes me so fucking happy to watch. Just, I am not for accelerationism, but the faster we rip this Band-Aid off, the better. Just saying. Make America great again. That is precisely it. That is all this right here. American exceptionalism, just that. Just American exceptionalism. Just that. Why not? Why not make it so that America's fucking awesome again? Why not be a power on the world stage? Because apparently, America is that one motherfucker. America is that one guy that everyone doesn't want to be around, but everyone needs something from him. That is America on the world stage. Think about it. Every other country that wants to shit on America needs America. Y'all like our entertainment. Y'all don't want to give that shit up. So, y'all use our internet. Y'all don't want to give that shit up. Because, you know, America created all of this bullshit that you use. You know, America created fucking YouTube and Google and Twitter and Facebook and all the other fucking shit that you use online. I'm sure you not American totally want to give that up to stick it to the Americans, right? Just a thought. You know, I remember back then, I was totally not old enough to vote. But even back then, I was like, I don't like John McCain, but I'd rather vote for him. Because better the devil you know. Also, even as a kid, Barack just kind of seemed slick. You know, he seemed just that kind of, you know, I don't know how to describe it. Just that kind of motherfucker that would hand you a $100 bill and say, don't talk about this again, and shoo you away. Just seems like that kind of, I don't want to go on your bad side kind of dude. Sad. I'm very grateful to have good teachers, and I've had a lot of bad teachers too. But when you've had the good teachers that, I'm sorry, I saw this comment and it just set my brain spiraling. But when you had teachers that genuinely give a fuck, I know they're rare because, especially with teacher unions and shit, the bad teachers stay and get protected, and the good teachers are bulldogged out. It's sad, and I've seen it. Like, for instance, in my high school, the head of the math department was my Algebra 2 teacher. My Algebra 2 teacher was a fucking cunt. Now, she made us do, like, a journal every day just to warm up, and it wasn't math-related, thank fuck. But it was always supposed to be, like, write about what you're going to do for this weekend, or whatever. And if you didn't do that journal, she would yell at you. She would bitch at you. And fucking, like, it was for a grade. It's like, goddamn woman, this is math class. But one time, she was like, she was in her happy mood. I think she was bipolar. She was like, I want to make sure that, you know, you ask questions and yada yada, and I want to be here for you. And then, like, not 20 minutes later in that same class, nobody's asking questions because we know how this bitch is. We ask questions on, well, I don't get what order operations are you supposed to do for this. Teacher be like, you were supposed to know that already. Were you paying attention? Get off your damn phone. That voice crack, though. But it's like, this is why I hate math. Bad teachers are why I'm still bad at math. I genuinely never learned some things in math, and that's not a good thing. And I went to good school. It's because I had bad fucking teachers that were just angry all the goddamn time. And it seems like it's always the female math teacher that's just mad as shit all the fucking time. Tell me if I'm wrong. It's always the female math teacher that's always just pissed as shit. Now, I did have this one female math teacher. She was my geometry teacher, and I was always good in geometry because apparently it's like that left brain, right brain difference. If you're good at the abstract geometry kind of shit, you're tend to be bad at algebra, and vice versa. That is me. So she was also the cheerleading coach. No, she was the basketball coach, and the cheerleading coach was the math teacher next door. And you can hear those two bitches talk to each other through the fucking cinder brick walls. But I've had good teachers. I've had bad teachers. It's really a roll of the dice. I got lucky sometimes. You see, there are some elements of that I would agree with, and some elements of that I would very much disagree with. And it's primarily because, like, while, yes, there was so much more class and elegance back then. I'm sorry, I'm getting a headache right now. While there was that back then, there was also actual fucking I hate using the word bigotry, but it fits. Like, of course, rates of like single parenthood and birth out of wedlock dramatically lower because, you know, people were shamed for doing that back then. And while of course we should bring that kind of stuff back, some things like I shouldn't be terminated from my job because I got pregnant. I'm pretty sure that was a thing back then. I'm just glad that I'm in my generation now where there are laws that protect me. And then I can actually go around and say, that law is some bullshit. Can we just repeal that one? And most people are going to be on my side. Really some. I'm afraid of DARPA. I had a teacher one time that's like, don't even look up DARPA. And I'm like, should I be afraid of DARPA? She's like, yes. I'm like, okay. Hey, man, what's up? Okay, I was going to talk about music. Fuck, that's right. So, Pink Floyd. I fucking love Pink Floyd. Now, I know this video series is like 2 years old, but whatever. The channel Polyphonic made a breakdown of the Pink Floyd album, Dark Side of the Moon, and I recently watched it, and I've had every fucking song from the album stuck in my head for at least 3 days in a row. But I was thinking about I have done that. I don't have an iPhone, but I've left things at work, and it sucks. Sounds like shit. Hope you got it back. But on the song Time, one of my favorite Pink Floyd songs ever. I wish I had the lyrics in front of me so I can just kind of like pick out, you know, what exactly I mean, but I think I got it right now, actually. No, there's so many better, so many. Odd, but kind of cool. So, like I was trying to say, just the one lyric that's going through my brain right now is, every year is getting shorter, never seem to find the time. And of course that applies to when you get older, because the whole genius of the song Time itself is you start out, like, especially the whole album itself, is you start out and it's supposed to be like, the lyric is, you are young and life is long and there is time to kill today. And then one day you'll find... Okay, no. And then what I have written down right here, while I'm not a Christian, there are some things in the Bible that can help anyone. You don't have to be Christian to believe in it. You don't have to be Christian to use things in the Bible. And one thing I find myself saying a lot is, this too shall pass, which, especially when you think about Pink Floyd's lyrics in that song, I believe it's the very last line. It's like, I don't want to sing it for you because I'm a bad singer. Hello! I might be tuning out soon. I know I've... Hello. My brain is starting to go offline. Actually, that reminds me, before I get back on to Pink Floyd, I did recently buy some vitamins that should be helping me. They're methylated B12, not normal B12, because I cannot just go to the normal store and go to the normal store. Go to the store and get normal B12. Doesn't fucking work for me. No, I did not. It is up in a bun in the back of my head. Everyone... Okay, so every time it's like, either I have the short, choppy shit right here, or it's in a coat or something, people see that, it's like, oh my god, did you cut your hair? No. Thank you for the concern. I guess it was concern. The final lyrics of that song, I believe it's like, far away across the field, the tolling of the iron bell, call the faithful to their knees to hear the softly spoken magic spell. That's right. I'm trying. I need a cut, though. I need trim. Like, I need, like, that much taken off. And, okay, now I see my brain. It is gone. So, the pros and cons about the dichotomy of passing time, an advantage and disadvantage. You get yourself out of a shitty situation if, that's some of the advantages. Disadvantage, life passes you by. And that's sad. And then, this one, okay, for some reason I remember now. I have, in parentheses, Lotus Eaters. And it's not because of Sargon's podcast. Is actually more like Greek mythology, where you got it from, because I remember back in Percy Jackson they made this reference to the Lotus Eaters, and it just completely went over my head until now. But the Lotus Eaters in the mythology, they ate lotuses to forget, and it was like they're in this little bubble of time that just passed them by. And I thought about that. So it's like, we don't have this kind of time bubble where you can just sit there and just let time passes over like tardigrades. We can't just shrivel up and just let time go by and rehydrate ourselves and be like, okay, hello. Please no. Yeah. I don't know, Bullet for My Valentine was Welsh. But then again, I don't listen to them. So I know of Limp Bizkit. I am not that big of a fan. Some of their songs are listenable. I like them more on the comedic end than for a music end. But back to this. I knew Manson was from Ohio because I watched his ghost stories, like celebrity ghost stories thing. And some creepy shit, bro. Really, just go watch that celebrity ghost stories if you haven't. It's pretty fucking fun. But some of my favorite bands, like especially from my youth, like I was that kid that listened to a bunch of 70s bands. So I love like Led Zeppelin, Fleetwood Mac. Massive fucking Stevie Nicks fan. If it's obvious. Probably is. Like Stevie Nicks is my fucking idol. I love this bitch. I love her so much. But love Manson. I love Rob Zombie. I don't know where he's from. In fact, I don't really know where many of my favorite bands are from. I like Rammstein. I know they're from Germany. I don't know where in Germany. But I'm sorry, it feels so weird that Evanescence comes from Arkansas. Like, Massachusetts for Godsmack, it sounds on point. Which, I think the only Godsmack song I like is Vampires. Sorry, I'm very picky. I'm more of a music, like, when it comes to music, I'm more of a song-to-song person than band-to-band, if that makes sense. There's only a few bands where I like just about every one of their songs. Those bands being, like, Fleetwood Mac, Led Zeppelin, Rammstein, who else? Whatever. You know, because I've been listening to a lot of, like, really dark trap lately, especially, like, Johnny, and, I don't listen to a lot of Little Bo Weep, but I like her aesthetic, and, well, I've always loved Vocaloid, so I've kind of considered making music. I thought about it, but every other bitch has made music, and so I don't want to be like that. I will totally make a playlist of songs that I like if you are interested, and I'll make it public on YouTube. So I can do that, or I don't want to sing because I've been told I have a good voice, but I think I don't. In fact, I know I don't. I don't think I have a good voice at all. I don't know. Because, like, sometimes I can get that, like, that raspiness, which is kind of sexy. But at the same time, I live with that shit. When it's out of a bun, how long is it falling? It goes past my ass. A lot of times I'll accidentally sit on it, or fucking it gets caught in the car door a lot. It got caught in the spring of the front door. I'm sweaty, I'm sorry. when I hit the 1 hour mark, I'll fuck off. But it got caught in this fucking the spring that holds the door shut. Got caught in that. Hurt. Ripped a few strands out. So let's see. Yeah, long shit. I think it was yesterday. Someone came up to me and was like, "That's not all your hair." And I was like, "Yes, it is." And then they just started like manhandling my head. I'm like, "What the fuck?" They'll just like grab my whole ponytail and just be like petting it like this. I'm like, "Can you not?" Black girls, you are not the only ones where strangers touch your hair. I'm just gonna say it right now. You're not the only one. I never listened to much Judas Priest, honestly. I had a friend who did. There's, you know, I used to have a fucking playlist of, like, back before Google shut down the Google Music thing, it was on my phone, and I was able to just download MP3 files and listen to shit offline. Can't do that anymore. But where was I going with this? Oh, there's some rap I appreciate. Like, obviously I love fucking parody rap. Like, I love Weird Al, and someone on my Discord sent a parody of Tekashi 6ix9ine's Gummo, and yeah, if you know, you know. But like Tom McDonald, he's pretty good. I don't listen to him a whole hell of a lot, but I do like his message. Who are some others? Johnny is technically a rapper, I guess. Well, she's kind of trap rap. I kind of stopped listening to D Antwoord, especially after I heard about what happened with Johnny, but whatevs. Yeah. Most of my favorite songs are anywhere from like late 60s to like 2008. Because especially back then when all that new shit was coming out, especially like for some reason Dynamite by Teo Cruz was just the song of the 2010s. And even if you hated it back then, you listen to it now and it's fucking nostalgic. I am that person. Thank you. Hey, there's a new Donut Operator video. Might have to go watch that in a moment. Who else likes Donut Operator? I do. I have never gotten a fucking iPod to work. Ow, I flipped my fucking fingernail back. But I've never gotten a fucking iPod to work. I remember way back in the day, before like there were the like name brand iPods, my parents got me like a discount little iPod thing. Never fucking turned on. Never worked once. No, I think it turned on once and then died. I never was able to charge back up again. Oh well. That's great. It's so nostalgic, isn't it? It's just very nostalgic. Like, what was that? Oh my god. There were these girls, I remember a long time on YouTube. They got their video removed way back when, and it still makes me sad. But they took the Black Eyed Peas song, what was the name of it? It's like, tonight's gonna be a good night. That song. Took that one and made a whole like fan-made music video for it. And it was just fun watching them, dude. Like, that's OG YouTube, man. Just kids having fun. They were like jumping on the trampoline, doing flips, fucking just mouthing the words, all this fun shit. That was fun. And the fact that fucking YouTube just took their video down because copyright. I feel old and young at the same time. Like, part of me feels like some of the references I make are completely just what is it called? I always fuck up this word. Asynchronous, out of time. Like, I'll make references to Jimmy Hoffa and where he's buried. Meanwhile, like, I'll make references to like the Golden Girls and other 80s sitcoms. But then also won't get some things from like 2012. It sounds like I gotta go. Well, I will see y'all later. Don't be depressed. I'll try to actually get more onto this fuckery later, because I know I have a lot of notes, and sadly a lot of them are out of date because like I want to talk about OnlyFans, and it's the thing that what happened, which of course they reversed that shit. They reversed the fucking porn ban for money. That's entirely for fucking money. So, all the love out to y'all. Just thank you for being there. I guess that counts. Ooh, I'm chilly. I'm sorry. I decided getting like, I got really hot and sweaty, and then I got really cold because I was sweaty. So I'm thinking I'm gonna fuck off. I hit that 1 hour minute. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I had fun. I hope you did as well. And I will see y'all later. Leave me a comment down below. Go cuss at me, whatever. See you later. Mwah. Bye-bye.